Hmm. One more reason that the Democratic Party's convention may be on Zoom broadcasted as opposed to your regular basic convention is that the DNC they don't want to put up with any what they viewed as shenanigans by these treacherous and dreaded Bernie Bros and Bernie Babes, and you know you're acting like all of us are the enemy. We're going to be the reason why the Democratic Party saved, but you know they don't see it that way at all. The Democrats rather remain in their 1990s era rut. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Democrats, if if somehow Biden wins in November, the Bernie Sanders supporters and the overall left will not be thanked for it. Will be disregarded, and life will go on. And it will be as if the Bill Clinton era is still alive and well. If Donald Trump is reelected, those same Democrats, the corporate Democrats, would be like, "You Bernie Sanders supporters, you people on the left, you asked for so much, and you're so radical and so unreasonable. You're the reason why we got another 4 years of Trump." While those same people in the leadership will still get their money, and they will still get their same corporate donors, and they can rally the Democrats from all wings of the party about the notorious evil of Orange Man just to stuff their coffers. Um, Not trying to say undermine the importance of or the threat of Donald Trump's second term. He must not be president in January. He must not be reelected. Must not be sworn in. That's a given. And what's going on in Portland? I mean, he's threatening to crush the First Amendment, threatening fascism, and all these Tea Party supposedly pro liberty minded conservatives who beat their chairs about freedom. All of a sudden they're okay with fascism. On a little side note, if they do in fact use the Insurrection Act to crush the left like they want to do, they need to realize one day someone like an Elizabeth Warren will be president if Joe Biden is not elected in November. And so, what if the Tea Party comes back or something like that comes back? And then Elizabeth Warren decides to use the Insurrection Act. It's a slippery slope. So, if there's any conservatives watching this program, just think about the problems, the can of worms that could potentially open by supporting the Insurrection Act. And I'm gotten a little off track, but that's what I do because that's just how my mind works. Let me get back to the meat and potatoes of what I want to talk about. One of my most important issues, and anybody who knows me knows one economic reform that I am strongly in favor of that, in my view, and I'm correct, by the way, in my view, will improve the lives of American people from all walks of life, all around the country. It will actually help the economy. The only people that will suffer, and I could care less what the plight of the insurance companies could be. I want them gone. I mean, I want them gone. I mean, that's I want to get rid of the insurance companies. I want to. I want to do that right now. I think it should have been done yesterday. And honestly, Medicare, even though Medicare for all, it's my important issue. People need to realize that single payer or Medicare for all is not socialized medicine. I actually would prefer socialized medicine over single payer or Medicare for all. There are differences. Great Britain has a national health service. It's one of the most socialized medical systems in the democratic Western capitalist world. It's been that way since the end of World War II. Um, Most countries do it the Canadian or the French way, a public insurance system. And then you got countries that has systems that are remarkably similar to the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. But as one German coworker told me how it works in his native Germany, it's basically like an efficient, more generous version of Obamacare, where there are private insurance companies mix in with public insurance mix in there, and it drives the cost of the medical inflation costs down. If we were to had the Affordable Care Act the way it should have been done, if we weren't going to do single payer when Obama was implementing it, the only way it could have been successful, we would have had a public option, like they do in places like the Netherlands and Belgium, Luxembourg, and Germany. Um, Still wouldn't have been what I fully favored, but I would have been more supportive of the Affordable Care Act had it had a public option. I wanted nothing to do with it if private insurance was going to stay in the system. For opposite reasons, I found myself agreeing with the Tea Party to get rid of it because I know that by getting rid of it, even people who are not receptive to the ideas of socialized medicine will realize something was taken away from me, and I believe it would create a revolutionary thought process among ordinary people. Now I know I'm sounding kind of radical and all that. Honestly, I'm not all that radical. I'm a mild mannered social democrat. I would I again, I repeat myself. Um, I would be a middle of the road British Labour Party member in the UK today. I would be a middle of the road Social Democrat in places like Sweden and Germany. I would be a middle of the road member of the Socialist Party in Spain and France. I am not all that radical. Um, you know, um, that's just the thing. But our Overton window here in the United States is so dumb that European conservatives, European Christian Democrats, the European center right are more progressive on healthcare than than American liberals. How sad that Margaret Thatcher, the worst prime minister Britain ever had, was more progressive on healthcare than Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama. How sad, because with all her faults, one thing she didn't get rid of was the National Health Service. So, and as I said, I'm sort of kind of getting off track. Let me get back to what I need to talk about. There will be a Democratic convention that will be not as traditional as it's been in the past, where people are coming together. I think that arrangement is set up for two reasons. One, legitimately, there is a crisis called COVID-19. That is, I really do believe that might be the top reason, and it's understandable. I think the other reason is they don't want to see the public spectacle that they saw 4 years ago at the Democratic convention, where Bernie Sanders supporters were justifiably angry at Hillary Clinton as the establishment corporate Democrats took the nomination away from Bernie Sanders, cheated Bernie Sanders. 2020 was a repeat of 2016 in that regard. Bernie Sanders was cheated out of his nomination again. But the only twist was it was not just Bernie Sanders was cheated and rigged against. They also did everything they could to silence Andrew Yang, Marianne Williamson, and dare I say Tulsi Gabbard. Those three, along with Bernie Sanders, were signaled out. Um, I mean, the media were much friendlier to the worst candidate of 2020, John Delaney, former Congressman John Delaney of Maryland, who might have been probably basically Michael Bloomberg but less of a jerk in his persona. But they were much kinder to irrelevant John Delaney than they were to Tulsi Gabbard or Marianne Williamson or Andrew Yang, let alone Bernie Sanders. But you see, it isn't too much to ask for Medicare for all to be in the Democratic Party platform. When Harry Truman campaigned on it, it was called National Health Insurance. And other Democrats in the past, up to the time of Michael Duke, all the way from Harry Truman all the way up to the times of Michael Dukakis, that there was a rough commitment to the idea of national health insurance. And when Bill Clinton came along, they thought, oh well, that just sounded too socialistic. So we're going to just try to to appease our donors and to set American concerns about us trying to get rid of the insurance company. We don't want to look like we're a bunch of socialist communists, so we'll just go around and play nice and play patty cake with the insurance companies. Well, so they go and set up Hillary Clinton as the chair of the National Healthcare Task Force, and she created a corporatist, bureaucratic plan that was rejected. I'm glad it was rejected because that wasn't the way to go. Sadly enough, the Affordable Care Act was worse in how it was actually less public and less generous with the benefits and all of that. Um, Even though it could have been made better with a public option. So Bernie Sanders was campaigning on Medicare for all. He legitimately was the candidate really campaigning on Medicare for all. Some of the other candidates pay some kind of lip service, but like for example, Elizabeth Warren did. Now, Elizabeth Warren, I'm a little mad at the moment, but in extremely mild defense of Elizabeth Warren, I don't think that she fully understand what Medicare for all implied. And I'm going to say that Elizabeth Warren is 100 times smarter than I can ever be. But the thing about it is, she, along with many other folks, has that American mindset. They can't think of how it's done in places like here. They roughly know that, oh, they got free medical care in other parts of the world, but they just can't think how it's the mechanisms and how is the delivery system is done. So they just take what exists and they're like, well, we just go take what we got and manipulate it and make it sure everybody has it. Can't be done because it's too bureaucratic when you keep the insurance companies. The only way you're going to eliminate bureaucracy, which will lower healthcare costs, is to eliminate the chief cause of medical inflation, and that is the myriad of private health insurance companies with all the wasteful paper shuffling that goes on and the overhead that goes on in the private sector, red tape that goes along, administrating it with hospitals and pharmacies and the whole medical system. You need to radically restructure those dollars to make it so that the American people are the ones that get it, not middle level bureaucrats and all of that. Um, the doctors are really not the problem. The doctors got to have lawyers because worry about legal problems. They got to worry. They have to have a team of people working for them or shuffling the paperwork around and everything, and it's very multi-tiered in a very bad way where there's a lot of uneven coverage going on, and you got you as a consumer file for your insurance to take care of something. Insurance companies fight tooth and nail to see that they don't cover you after you pay for your insurance. They're going to find a way to not cover you, and then we don't like the big bad government getting rid of the insurance companies. Get out of here! Get out of here! Well, the Bernie Sanders supporters, wants Medicare for all to be added to the platform. It is not too much to ask. We're not asking to take over 100% of the means of productions and create an anarcho-syndicalist society upon the election of Biden. But what we're asking for is for the United States to create a a system of medical care in a way that other Western democracies do. It ain't going to turn the United States into North Korea. It ain't going to turn the United States into the former Soviet Union. It ain't going to turn the United States into the People's Republic of China. It ain't going to turn the United States into Cambodia under a Pol Pot during the 1970s. It ain't going to do any of these things. It's not going to turn the United States into Cuba. It's not going to turn the United States into Venezuela. It's not going to do any of these things. It's, in fact, if anything, it will make us like our Western allies, Great Britain, Canada, the Scandinavian countries, Germany, Austria, France, Italy, Australia, New Zealand, Japan. I mean, Israel, much of Latin America too. It is what Western democracies do, is to create medical care that's available for 100% of the population. And for the corporate Democrats to think that's too radical, I mean, they're up to their old tricks again. This is the kind of crap that's going to harm us in the long run. And I don't care if corporate Democrats think that's too radical. I don't think it's too radical. I think it's more than reasonable. The people who are unreasonable, even the corporate Democrats and the Republican Party, are both unreasonable on this question. And if we had a normal Overton window, that normal Overton window is that the left, the corporate Democrats and Republicans will be at least on the same page when it comes to health care, that everybody should have it and it should be free. To me, I just think any other position is less. Any other position is extreme. The only position that should count is, at a minimum, Medicare for all, single payer. If I had it my way, we do National Health Service like they had done it in the UK. But again, anyway, the Democratic Party's Bernie Sanders supporters are threatening to do a revolt. Those dreaded old Bernie Burrows and Bernie Babes. The ones that are so mean on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Yeah, but here's the thing: it's urgent to be on the platform, and it's urgent for the economy. And with COVID, it's also been made more necessary than ever. And listen, all you damn Donald Trump supporters that voted for him in 2016, he said he was going to go and improve Obamacare, and and he didn't go into specific details, but he said it was going to be better. He did not do it, folks. All he's trying to do is to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which I agree should go, but for different reasons. But healthcare didn't improve under Trump. We got more people without healthcare than ever before. And believe me, I even think that if Trump would have kept the Affordable Care Act and added the public option, I don't think there would have been a lot of opposition to it. And not that I'm trying to help Trump, because I'm not, but that could have actually helped him in his reelection. But when you're blinded by ideology, and and they accuse people on the left of being blinded by ideology, but you got people on the right, they're blinded by ideology. The corporate Democrats have an ideology they're blinded by. I am blinded by the ideology that I have, except that the ideology I have is the correct path to take. Divisive? I don't give a damn if it's divisive. I want Medicare for all now. It's popular. It's more popular than it's ever had. And as I said, it is what a Western democracies, what Western society have done, aside from the United States, and is what it should do, what we should do here. To me, being for Medicare for all is the ultimate no-brainer. It is the common sense way to do it. So many areas, with global trade to being the way it is. I mean, I'm a protectionist, but single payer Medicare for all will actually be an incentive for companies not to leave the United States to go to places where the labor is cheaper. Because remember, the medical inflation is tied into labor costs in this country. That's why we have the manufacturing base leaving this country. If you want fewer people on food stamps and on welfare, believe it or not, healthcare for all would play a role in that. It would play a role in that. And if whatever type of work you're in, I can guarantee you, if you work in the manufacturing or service sector, I can guarantee you, if we had a Medicare for all system, your wages will go up. You will have a more generous pension, and you will have more vacation time because the companies would not be busy trying to pay for your medical coverage because it would not be their responsibility anymore. To me, anything less is insane. I'm Bernie Bro. If you like what you heard today, just press that like button and and subscribe. Even if you hate what I have to say, you can also press that you don't like. And I need to explain this real quick. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers, so please, please, whatever you do, please hit that subscribe button. And to elevate this channel to make it relevant. I this channel is not about me, but it's about what I believe in, social democracy, and I believe I do possess an angle to it that I like to share with everybody. So I'm asking each and every one of you to subscribe to build up this channel. And as a radical free speech person myself, you got a platform, you got an account, use it. Let this soapbox be your way to try to spread ideas around. And that's all I got to say right now. And until next time, Bernie Sanders 2024. Peace.